Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. The money milestones you hit in your 20s and 30s can quietly shape the rest of your life. And I'm not talking about flashy wins or overnight success. I'm talking about real foundational progress, the kind that builds momentum, confidence, and eventually freedom. I want to walk through the 8 key money milestones that every young adult should aim for. For each one, I want to give a starter goal as well as an aspirational goal that really stretches your thinking and can set you up for true long-term wealth. These aren't just tips, but stages of transformation. And with that, let's start with one of the biggest ones. Save your first $100,000. The starter goal here would be to save your first $10,000 or $25,000. The aspirational goal is to hit that $100,000 in investable assets and then let compounding really take off. Let's be honest, saving your first $100,000 can feel intimidating, especially if you're starting from zero. And sometimes if a goal feels too far off, it can be discouraging rather than encouraging. So don't start there. Start with what feels doable. Maybe you set the target to save your first $10,000 and then your first $25,000. That alone takes real discipline. You'll say no to things, you'll make sacrifices, and for a while, it might feel like you're doing all the work and barely seeing any progress. But if you stay consistent, something powerful happens. You start to see momentum. Yes, your savings grow, but more importantly, you see that your investments are growing on their own. Your balance begins to shift in a meaningful way without contributions solely from you. And this shift really tends to be noticeable around that $100,000 mark. Charlie Munger said it best. The first $100,000 is a but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. He's right. Hitting that first $100,000 invested is hard, but it's also one of the most important savings milestones you'll ever hit. Now, I want to pair this with one of my favorite quotes from Rohn. Set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for what it will make of you to achieve it. It's not a stretch to say that that quote changed my life when I heard it 22 years ago. It's not about the money. It's about the mindset, the habits, and the self-belief that you build along the way. And that really sets you up for a strong future. Milestone number 2, build a fully funded emergency fund. Starter goal here might be to get $1,000 and then build towards 1 month of expenses. The aspirational goal is to build that full emergency fund plus a walk-away fund so you can leave any job or relationship without panic. An emergency fund might not sound exciting, but it is truly one of the most underrated tools of your financial life. It brings you peace of mind and breaks the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. Let's be real. Life happens, things break, people get sick, layoffs can come out of nowhere, and you don't want to have to go into debt just because your car battery died. So start by having $1,000 set aside. Slowly work your way up to having 1 month's worth of expenses, and then working your way up to a fully funded 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. This can really keep your stress levels down, and when those unexpected expenses come up, you can take them in stride. The aspirational version of this is to build a walk-away fund. Some people call this an FU fund, but it gives you the money you need to walk away from a job, a relationship, or any situation that no longer serves you. Let's be honest, we all know people who stay stuck not because they want to, but because they can't afford to leave a situation. Money gives you options and it gives you freedom, and those options allow you to live the life you want to. Milestone number 3, pay off high interest debt. The starter goal here is to pay off your credit card debt and any high interest loans. The aspirational version is to become completely debt free, including a mortgage, and own every dollar that you make. If you're carrying high interest debt, especially from a credit card, it's time to get aggressive. Your money has so much more potential rather than compounding at 20% for a bank. Start with the worst offenders: credit cards, personal loans, anything with double-digit rates. Every dollar you throw at that debt is like buying back your freedom. Once that's tackled, look at other types of debts. Car loans, student loans, could you pay these off early? Perhaps your next car, could you fully buy that outright in cash? I did that. My first car I drove for 17 years. I'm currently on my second car and I plan to drive it for as long as possible. I love knowing that I own what I drive and I don't have to send a check to someone for the privilege of it. Now, the aspirational goal is to become completely debt-free, even the house. I get it. If you have a mortgage sitting at around 2%, you can make the argument that paying it off early isn't the smartest financial choice. And that does make sense. But if your mortgage is sitting around 6 or 7%, well, that argument tends to lose a lot of weight. And for me, having a fully paid off home isn't just about the math. You also have to consider the peace of mind that comes with it. The idea that you really don't owe anyone anything, that every dollar you make is yours to keep, well, that's a pretty powerful situation to be in. Milestone number 4, start retirement contributions early, even small ones. The starter goal is to contribute even $50 a month to a 401k or an IRA. The aspirational goal here is to hit Coast Fire by 35 or 40 so your investments can grow to full retirement on their own. When you're just starting out, it might feel that you can only contribute, say, $50 a month. And that's okay. The amount matters way less than building the habit. Open the account, set up automatic contributions, whether it's a 401k or a Roth IRA or perhaps both. The key is to get this money invested consistently, because money that gets time in the market is far more powerful than money that is waiting for the perfect timing. Now, the aspirational goal that I love here is Coast Fire. Coast Fire means you've hit an amount invested that you could theoretically no longer contribute to your investments, leave your investments untouched for a handful of decades, and they could coast or grow to fully fund your retirement on their own. It really takes the pressure off you needing to save. Let's say you had the goal of retiring at the age of 60 with $2 million invested. Let's assume you capture an 8% rate of return. This would mean you would need to have about $292,000 invested by the age of 35 in order for your investments to carry you the rest of the way there. Or by the age of 40, you might need closer to $430,000 in investments. What if those numbers feel a bit too aggressive? What if instead you move your retirement date to the age of 65? Then you would need closer to $200,000 in investments by the age of 35, or just under $300,000 by the age of 40. Now, how realistic it is for you to hit those numbers depends on your situation, but knowing that this path is an option can really change your mindset around saving and investing, and it can really help to front load your investments because this means that compounding does the heavy lifting later. Number 5, open and understand a Roth IRA. The starter is to simply open this account and contribute anything, even if that's $20. The aspirational goal is to max it out every single year and eventually max out perhaps a Roth IRA and even your 401k because they are powerful tax-free or tax-advantaged engines. If your employer offers a 401k match, you want to make sure that you take advantage of it. That is free money. Never leave free money on the table. But at the same time, I want to make a strong case for the Roth IRA. And here's why I love it. You contribute after tax dollars, at which point they get to grow completely tax-free. And then once you reach retirement, any withdrawals you take from this account come out completely tax-free. It's fully yours. You open it, you fund it. It is not tied to any employer. And honestly, just opening this account and putting a small amount in, even $20, is a sign that you're taking your financial life seriously and taking it into your own hands. The aspirational goal is to max it out annually. In 2025, that's $7,000 per year if you're under the age of 50. And here's what that can grow to. If you max it out every year for 40 years at an 8% return, you'd have about $1.8 million in retirement. And that is all tax-free. And that's the magic of the Roth IRA. It's not just a smart strategy, it's a really powerful freedom tool. It gives you more options, more control, and more peace of mind than practically any other retirement account. Number 6 is to reach a 20+% savings rate. The starter here is to track your income and expenses. Start small, save whatever you can. Maybe that's 5%, maybe it's 10%, work your way up. The aspirational goal here is to sustain a 50+% savings rate for at least 1 year. It can completely change your financial trajectory fast. When it comes to saving, the most important thing is to simply start. Even if you can put away, say, 5% of your income, that is a win. And then work on trying to increase that savings rate. Maybe you increase it when you get a pay raise. Maybe you increase it 1% per year. Work your way up to, say, 15 to 20% of your income as quick as feels doable for you. That range is often recommended for a reason. It builds wealth consistently and creates a strong foundation for long-term stability. Now let's talk stretch goals. One of my favorite aspirational savings targets, especially for couples, is to hit a 50% savings rate. And no, I don't want you to live like a monk. And for many people, this type of target savings rate is just too much. It would take away too much joy from your life. And at the end of the day, your finances should support the life you want, not detract from it. But if you're in a dual income household with, say, similar earnings, this can truly be a game changer. It accelerates your path to financial independence. It makes you less reliant on work. Say one of you were to lose your job or take time off, the household still runs smoothly. And even hitting this 50% savings target for 1 year can truly transform how you view money and how much control you really have over your future. Number 7 is to spend intentionally. Buy time, not stuff. The starter goal here is to cut 1 or 2 expenses that don't align with your values. The aspirational goal here is to design a lifestyle around freedom and time wealth. Maybe you get to take mini retirements, work part-time by choice, or to fund a creative sabbatical. Let's shift how we think about spending. It's not about cutting every joy, but it's about getting crystal clear on what adds value to your life and then letting go of the rest. Every dollar you spend is a trade-off, and once you begin viewing money like that, your spending starts to reflect your values. Start small. Cut 1 or 2 things that don't feel aligned anymore. Maybe that's takeout multiple nights a week or a subscription that you forgot about. Redirect that money towards something that genuinely matters to you. Now, here's where things start to get fun. Once you start to spend with intention, you realize that your money can buy something way more important than stuff, and that's your time. And this is the aspirational goal. It's about building a life that gives you space. Maybe you get to take a month off work because you have the money to do so. Maybe you fund a creative passion project. Or maybe you take some time and work part-time. When you stop trying to look rich and focus on feeling rich, that's when the magic truly happens. Because real wealth isn't about what is hanging in your closet. It's about how much control you have over your calendar. Number 8 is to understand compound interest with both your head and your heart. The starter here is to use a compound interest calculator to see how you can make time work for you. The aspirational goal is reaching the tipping point where your money earns more than you do and realize that you are financially independent. It's not about hitting a number, it's about a mindset shift. And if you've never used a compound interest calculator, now's the time to go use one. Plug in $100 a month or $10,000 for the year. Set the growth to 8%. At first, it looks slow. You're doing all the work, but keep going and eventually something clicks. Your investments start growing by more than your contributions. And then one day your money earns more than you do. And then once you pass that milestone, you go from building wealth to letting your wealth build itself. The starter goal is understanding compounding intellectually. The aspirational version, it's when you hit that tipping point, when your portfolio is pulling more weight than your job. You may still work, but not because you have to, but because you want to. And there's a big difference between waking up with pressure and waking up with purpose to start your day. So yes, compounding is math, but it's also liberation. And once that clicks in both your head and your heart, you stop living for the short term and you focus on building a life that you are genuinely proud of. These 8 milestones aren't just about money. They're about building a life that feels calm, intentional, and free. You don't have to hit them all this year or even this decade. But if you start small and you stay consistent, one day you'll look back and you'll realize you built a life that you don't even want to break free from. And that's a powerful position to be in. So start where you are today and keep moving forward. Your future self will absolutely thank you. What do you think is the most important milestone? Give me your top 1, 2, or 3 down in the comments below. Is there another you would add to the list? I'd love to hear from you. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. I don't even know what I said. Did I say what I wanted to say? Can someone tell me? Could the next car you be bought in cash? Seriously? Well, my stomach is noisy this morning. I guess I should eat breakfast. You kind of do have to work because you have to fund your life today. If you max it out and my doggy's sneezing. Had to do a break. There were a lot of S's there. I was like, oh geez, hang on. Bug, what? Oh god, oh geez. Okay, I think it's an ant. Ugh, but he's large. Oh god, no. Ugh. Oh god. No, oh my god, where are you? Oh god. Ugh. Awful.